When Loren Allen cheats on 90 Day Fiancé, Faith confronts him prior to 90 days. She learns how frequently he cheated on her. She places him in the friend zone despite his apology. Loren Allen, the 90 Day Fiancé, admits to Faith that he had a weekly sexual liaison. After learning that Loren Allen was having affairs while they were dating, Faith took a break from him. She's crazy. He was her first love, the TLC performer admits. She can't believe he betrayed her because she had great expectations for them. She no longer trusts him. She still wants to hear his version of events, though. The 90 Day Fiancé. Prior to the 90 days, a cast member informs him that she is uneasy about him having an illness as a result of having sex with someone else. It is scary, she says. He acknowledges that he made a mistake, and that's why they're in this predicament. However, he believes he was telling them that he was having affairs. He now realizes, though, that she didn't get it. Loren is asked by Faith if he is intimate with someone each time he texts her to say he is staying at their place. Not every house, he informs her. However, he acknowledges that he does it once a week. Faith receives Loren's apology for cheating. After Loren tells Faith he loves her, Faith questions why he is intimate with other people. He expresses his affection and concern for her. She is the object of the TLC star's desire to date. He thus informs her that he will no longer have sex with anyone else. He then expresses regret for betraying her. The 90 Day Fiancé. Prior to telling him that she is deeply hurt and doesn't want to experience further pain, the castmate confides in him. He tells her that he wants to spend the rest of his life with her and that he will never cheat on her again. She doesn't believe him, though, the 90 Day Fiancé. Prior to the 90 days, the celebrity entered the friend zone. Faith and Loren Allen are going to her family's house. But given what he did to her, she is unsure about how she will present him to everyone as her lover. According to the 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days reality star, he covered the cost of their trip to her hometown so they could meet her family. Although she is aware that her family would not want her to be with someone who mistreats her, she was thrilled to tell them she had a boyfriend. Faith informs Loren that she is unable to present him as her lover to her family. She wants him to show her that he wants to marry her. The fact that she is giving him another chance makes him happy, and he doesn't mind going slowly. Faith isn't prepared to end their relationship because she still loves Loren. However, he will need to demonstrate his concern for her. 90 Day Fiancé. Faith confronts Loren about cheating. Chapter 1. The Calm Before the Storm. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the bustling streets of Los Angeles. Faith had been dreaming of this moment for weeks. She had finally worked up the courage to confront Loren about her suspicions of infidelity. The couple had been together for nearly 2 years, but recent changes in Loren's behavior had made Faith uneasy. As she sat in her favorite cafe, the aroma of fresh coffee and pastries filled the air, but Faith could barely taste her drink. Her thoughts were racing. She had seen the late-night messages on Loren's phone, the secretive glances he exchanged with his friends, and the way he had suddenly become protective of his devices. All of these signs pointed to something she never wanted to believe. Chapter 2. The Confrontation. That evening, Faith invited Loren over to her apartment under the guise of a casual dinner. She spent hours preparing his favorite meal, trying to distract herself from the conversation she knew she had to have. When Loren arrived, he seemed his usual charming self, complimenting her cooking and making small talk. But as they sat down to eat, Faith felt the tension in the air. Loren, she began, her voice steady, but her heart racing. Can we talk about something serious? His smile faltered slightly, and he nodded, sensing the shift in her demeanor. Sure, what's on your mind? I've noticed some changes in you lately. she said, searching his eyes for any signs of guilt. I feel like you're hiding something. Loren's expression shifted. Hiding? Faith, what do you mean? You know what I mean, she pressed. The late nights, the secretive phone calls. It feels like there's something you're not telling me. Chapter 3. The Denial. Loren's face hardened. You're reading too much into this. I've just been busy with work. You know how it is. Faith clenched her fists under the table. Busy? Or maybe you're busy with someone else. I've seen the way you act when you think I'm not looking. Faith, I would never cheat on you, he said, his voice rising defensively. You're being ridiculous. Am I? She shot back, frustration bubbling over. I want to believe you, but I can't ignore my instincts. You need to be honest with me. Chapter 4. The Turning Point. The tension hung heavy in the air, and for a moment, silence engulfed them. Loren seemed to be weighing his options. Finally, he sighed, his shoulders slumping. I can't believe you think I'd do that. I thought we were stronger than this. Faith felt a pang of guilt, but pressed on. If we're going to move forward, I need to know that I can trust you. If there's someone else, just tell me. I swear there isn't anyone else. He insisted, his eyes earnest. I care about you more than anything. I thought we were happy. Faith searched his face, looking for any hint of deceit. Then why do I feel so uncertain? Chapter 5. The Fallout. After their confrontation, things between Faith and Loren felt different. The air was thick with unresolved tension, and their once comfortable silences now felt strained. Faith tried to focus on her work and hobbies, but thoughts of Loren's potential betrayal consumed her. A week passed, and Loren seemed distant. He was still charming, but the spark was missing. Faith decided to take matters into her own hands. She needed proof. One evening, she discreetly borrowed Loren's phone while he was in the shower. Her heart raced as she scrolled through his messages, her instincts screaming at her. It didn't take long before she found something. An exchange with someone named Jess. Chapter 6. The Truth Unfolds. Faith's heart sank as she read the messages. They were flirty, laced with innuendo, and it was clear that Loren had been keeping this person a secret. Anger surged through her as she realized that her fears were confirmed. When Loren emerged from the bathroom, Faith confronted him, holding his phone like evidence in a courtroom. Who is Jess? She demanded, her voice trembling with rage. Loren's face went pale. It's not what you think. Not what I think, she retorted, her voice rising. You've been lying to me, Loren. Chapter 7. The Emotional Avalanche. The argument that followed was intense. Loren tried to explain that Jess was just a friend, someone he had met through work, but Faith was having none of it. She felt betrayed, and every lie he had told her echoed in her mind. I thought I could trust you, she yelled, tears streaming down her face. I've given you everything, and you repay me with lies. I never meant for it to get this far, Loren pleaded, his eyes wide with desperation. It was just harmless flirting. Faith shook her head, disbelief etched on her features. Harmless? This isn't just flirting, Loren. This is betrayal. Chapter 8. The Aftermath. After that explosive night, Faith felt like she was in a fog. The days turned into weeks, and though Loren begged for forgiveness, the trust between them was shattered. She found herself questioning everything, their relationship, their future, and even her own worth. As the days passed, Faith began to heal. She surrounded herself with friends and leaned on her support system. She focused on herself, rediscovering passions that had been overshadowed by her relationship. Yet, a part of her still ached for the connection they once had. Chapter 9. The Decision. Months went by, and while Loren continued to reach out, Faith struggled to let go of the hurt. One day, she sat down with a journal and poured her heart out, detailing her feelings, the pain of betrayal, and her hopes for the future. It was during this reflection that she realized she had the power to choose her own path. She didn't want to be defined by Loren's mistakes. With newfound clarity, Faith decided it was time to move on. Chapter 10. The New Beginning. Eventually, Faith met someone new. A kind-hearted man named Jason, who treated her with respect and kindness. It was refreshing, and she found herself smiling again. As they spent time together, Faith learned to trust again, albeit cautiously. One evening, as they walked along the beach, Faith opened up about her past. "I've been hurt before," she admitted, her voice soft. "But I'm ready to move forward." Jason listened intently, offering reassurance. "You deserve to be happy, Faith. I'll always be honest with you." Chapter 11. Closure. Eventually, Loren reached out one last time. He wanted to apologize, to explain himself, and while part of Faith wanted to hear him out, she knew she had to protect her peace. She sent him a message, expressing her desire to move on. "I hope you find what you're looking for," she typed, her heart feeling lighter with each word. As she hit send, Faith felt a wave of relief wash over her. She was ready to close that chapter of her life and embrace the new possibilities ahead. Chapter 12. Embracing the Future. With Jason by her side, Faith began to envision a brighter future. They explored new places, shared dreams, and laughed more than she had in a long time. The pain of her past slowly faded, replaced by a sense of hope and possibility. Through it all, Faith learned that love should never feel like a burden. Trust, respect, and honesty were the foundations of any healthy relationship, and she was determined to build a life filled with those values. Epilogue. A new chapter. As Faith stood on the beach, watching the waves crash against the shore, she felt a sense of freedom. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting vibrant colors across the sky, and she knew that her journey was just beginning. She had confronted her past, faced her fears, and emerged stronger. With a renewed sense of self and a heart open to love, Faith was ready to embrace whatever came next, confident that she was worthy of a 90-day fiancé. Faith confronts Loren about cheating. Faith sat on her couch, staring blankly at the TV, but she wasn't watching anything. Her mind was consumed with thoughts of Loren. The couple had been together for nearly 2 years, but the past few months had been rocky. Loren's late nights and secretive behavior had chipped away at her trust. As she scrolled through social media, a knot formed in her stomach. She had to confront him. Loren had always been the life of the party, charismatic and charming. But lately, Faith had noticed subtle changes in him. He seemed distracted, often lost in thought. Friends had mentioned seeing him out more often without her. She recalled a night when he had received a call, quickly stepping outside to take it. When he returned, his expression was off, guilty, maybe. "Something's not right," she muttered to herself, feeling a mixture of dread and determination. Faith decided to invite Loren over for dinner. It would be a casual setting, the perfect opportunity for a serious conversation. She spent the day preparing his favorite meal, pasta with homemade sauce, trying to calm her nerves. When the doorbell rang, her heart raced. "Hey, beautiful," Loren greeted her with a kiss. He looked handsome, as always, but something felt different. "Hey, dinner's almost ready," she replied, forcing a smile. As they sat down to eat, the atmosphere was relaxed at first. Loren complimented the meal, and they reminisced about happy moments together. But Faith's mind was elsewhere, her heart pounding as she planned how to broach the topic. "Loren, can we talk about something?" she finally asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "Of course, what's up?" He looked up, suddenly serious. I've noticed you've been acting differently lately. Is everything okay? Faith asked, trying to gauge his reaction. Loren's expression changed. What do you mean? I've just been busy with work. You know how it is. But it's more than that. You seem distant, and I can't shake the feeling that you're hiding something from me, she pressed. Faith, I promise you, there's nothing going on. You're overreacting, he insisted, his tone defensive. I don't want to feel this way. I need you to be honest with me, she replied, frustration bubbling beneath the surface. Loren sighed, looking away. I would never cheat on you, Faith. You know that. Do I? She shot back, hurt flooding her voice. You can say it, but your actions tell a different story. Why won't you just tell me the truth? I swear there's no one else, he said, his voice softer now, almost pleading. Faith felt a mix of anger and confusion. If you're telling the truth, then why do I feel like I'm losing you? The next few days felt like an emotional roller coaster. Faith tried to focus on work, but her mind kept wandering back to her conversation with Loren. She needed clarity, and it wasn't coming from him. One night, unable to sleep, she decided to take matters into her own hands. As Loren slept next to her, she quietly grabbed his phone from the nightstand. Heart pounding, she scrolled through his messages, her instincts screaming. It didn't take long before she stumbled upon a conversation with someone named Jess, flirty texts that made her stomach turn. The next morning, Faith confronted Loren with the evidence. Who is Jess? She demanded, her voice shaking with anger and betrayal. Loren's face turned pale. It's not what you think. Not what I think. She shot back. You've been lying to me. I swear it was just harmless flirting. Nothing serious, he pleaded. Faith shook her head in disbelief. Harmless. You're hiding things from me, Loren. This isn't just flirting. This is betrayal. The argument escalated quickly, emotions running high. Loren tried to explain, but Faith couldn't hear him over the sound of her own heartbreak. I thought we had something special, she cried, tears streaming down her cheeks. How could you do this to me? I never meant to hurt you, Faith. I was just stupid, he admitted, his eyes pleading for understanding. Stupid? That's your excuse, she yelled. I deserve better than this. Days turned into weeks, and the rift between them widened. Loren reached out, begging for forgiveness, but Faith felt lost. The trust was shattered, and she struggled to see a future together. Every memory felt tainted by betrayal. She began leaning on her friends for support. They reminded her of her worth, encouraging her to focus on herself. You deserve someone who treats you right, one friend said. Don't settle for less. Determined to heal, Faith immersed herself in her work and hobbies. She started going to the gym, spending more time with friends, and rediscovering passions she had set aside for Loren. Slowly, she began to regain her sense of self. But the ache of betrayal lingered. She often replayed the moments they shared, trying to reconcile the man she loved with the person who had hurt her. Eventually, Loren reached out one last time. He wanted to apologize and explain himself further. Faith felt a mix of emotions, anger, sadness, and a lingering affection. But she knew she had to protect her peace. Loren, I appreciate you reaching out. She typed carefully, but I need to move on. I can't keep reliving this pain. As she hit send, a weight lifted from her shoulders. She was ready to close that chapter of her life. Months later, Faith found herself on a date with someone new, Jason. He was kind, attentive, and treated her with the respect she had longed for. As they shared stories over dinner, Faith felt a spark she thought she had lost forever. Tell me about yourself, Jason said, genuinely interested. I love traveling and trying new foods, she replied, feeling more relaxed with each passing moment. As their connection grew, Faith realized she was learning to trust again, albeit cautiously. Jason respected her boundaries and allowed their relationship to blossom at its own pace. With Jason, Faith started to envision a brighter future. They explored new places, shared dreams, and created a space where both felt valued. The laughter they shared was a stark contrast to the heaviness she had felt with Loren. One evening, while watching the sunset, Faith opened up about her past. "I've been hurt before," she admitted, her voice soft but steady. "But I'm ready to move forward." Jason reached for her hand. "You deserve to be happy, Faith. I'll always be honest with you." As their relationship deepened, Faith began to heal. She learned that vulnerability didn't equate to weakness. It was a strength that allowed for deeper connections. Jason encouraged her to express her feelings, fostering a safe environment for both of them. One night, as they talked about their dreams, Faith felt a sense of hope she hadn't felt in a long time. "I want to travel the world, experience new cultures, and make lasting memories," she shared, her eyes shining with excitement. "Let's do it together," Jason replied, his smile warm and inviting. "We'll make our own adventures." With Jason by her side, Faith began to dream again. They made plans to travel, exploring places she had only imagined. Each new experience brought them closer, and with every shared moment, her heart began to heal. One day, while hiking together, Jason turned to her and said, "You know, I really admire your strength. You've come so far." "Thank you," Faith replied, feeling a wave of gratitude. "I wouldn't be here without all the support from my friends and the lessons I learned." Meanwhile, Loren continued to reach out sporadically, attempting to mend things, but Faith knew her heart was no longer with him. One day, she decided to respond one last time. "Loren, I hope you find what you're looking for. I wish you well, but I've moved on," she typed, her fingers trembling. Hitting send felt liberating. It was time to let go completely, to embrace the future without the shadows of her past. As the months rolled on, Faith and Jason became a solid partnership. They laughed, traveled, and built a life together filled with love and respect. Each day felt like a new adventure, one she had longed for but never truly believed she deserved. One afternoon, while sitting in a park, Jason turned to her with a serious expression. "I want to be honest with you about something," he said. Faith's heart raced. "What is it?" "I can see a future with you, and I'm ready to take that next step when you are," he confessed, sincerity in his eyes.